Beware of the big green dragon that sits on your doorstep. He eats little boys. Puppy ducktails and big fat snails. Beware. Take care. Beware.
Now they will know why they are afraid of the dark. Now they will learn why they fear the night.
Sunday, we told you about a WHO report that listed several chemicals as potentially cancer-causing, including glyphosate, found in the popular weed killer Roundup. Now, in an interview for an upcoming French documentary, a Canadian scientist has been caught in an Aaron Brockovich-like moment when he's asked to defend that chemical against links to cancer rates in Argentina. Take a look.
I do not believe that glyphosate in Argentina is causing increases in cancer. You can drink a whole quart of it and it won't hurt you.
You want to drink some? We have some here.
I'd be happy to, actually, but not really, but...
Not really?
I know it wouldn't hurt me.
If you say so, I have some glyphosate.
No, I'm not stupid.
Ah, okay, so you...
No, but I know
so it's dangerous, right?
No, people try to commit suicide with it and fail fairly regularly.
Tell the truth.
It's not dangerous to humans. No, it's not.
So you're ready to drink one glass of glyphosate?
No, I'm not an idiot.
Hi, and welcome to the QCC. We have Bonnie Wright, you're back, and my co-host in case I fall hors de combat, they say, or my French isn't very good, which is funny because I was born in the French-speaking neighborhood in West Manchester. And we have Kathy Corkery.
Good to see you.
From the Sierra Club.
Yeah, thanks
which
for
was
having
my
me.
ex-wife's tree hugger from Los Angeles. That was her organization. The woman that took my heart out and stomped it like it was a cockroach in a Lower East Side tenement. When you did have tenements on the Lower East Side. But she's still my best friend.
Oh, that's good.
She's actually been on the show, but under a assumed name.
Oh.
Elizabeth Ropp, you're here to tell us about the travails of the bill to actually ease licensing so that responders and people dealing with people that have problems with drugs can actually use a type of acupuncture. But for some reason, there was a few complications.
Yeah.
And to those people that are convinced I'm a communist, hey, I've got an actual genuine socialist here. His name is Chris DiLoretto. You're from Peterborough.
I am, yes. It's good to be here.
And you ran and lost a recent election, which, is this your first election?
It was my very first race, yes.
Well, you haven't lived till you've lost two.
That's how I feel, yeah.
I led the ticket, the Hillsborough County Democratic ticket with fewest votes. The March Against Monsanto.
Yes, it is this Saturday.
In Concord.
In Concord. There are two, actually, in the state. This Saturday at 11 o'clock at Concord City Plaza in front of the State House. Well, maybe Bonnie.
Glyphosates.
Glyphosate.
Would
You know all
I
the
have some
trigger
glyphosates right here, Bonnie, right? Would you like to drink them?
No, thank you.
Put some hair on my
I'm
chest.
smarter than that.
Here somewhere.
Hey, Bonnie. How are you, Bonnie?
I'm doing just great. Thank you.
We had a little setback on the right to know, though, didn't we?
Right to know GMO, yeah, that went south.
Even Obama.
Was
like Marla Maples, Trump said about her ex-husband, even the dog had turned on him.
Yeah.
Not to say Obama's a dog, but he even turned against it, right?
I was
the Dark Act?
surprised when the Dark Act passed and he actually signed it, and disappointed.
But that's our bipartisan system.
Yep. Yeah.
One party, two wings.
So after all these years that we've been trying to pass a GMO labeling law here in New Hampshire, we no longer can.
Right.
Congress has taken that right away from us.
You mean the Congress run by Republicans who believe in states' rights?
That one.
So you can take away an African American's right to vote, but if I want to know what's in my food, I have no right to that. Well, Gloria. What did little Annie, Orphan Annie, say? Glorioski, Daddy. You don't remember Orphan Annie?
No.
Am I that old?
No.
Well, are you from Manchester?
No.
Oh, the Manchester Union used to have the oldest comics in the world. That Bill Loeb died. Didn't want anything, communistic or social. Well, we'll just call you a communist. So we'd have Gasoline Alley, Smiling Jack, which probably went out in the 40s over the rest of the country, and you had Little Orphan Annie, and my favorite, Dick Tracy. But
I do remember Dick Tracy.
trust me, Little Orphan Annie said Glorioski, Daddy.
Glorioski.
So you remember too?
But
Okay.
the March Against Monsanto is against genetically engineered food, right?
And Monsanto
And the
strangled.
chemicals
Specifically.
that Monsanto and the other
Produces.
companies produce, which
Like Roundup.
like Roundup, glyphosate, Roundup, same thing. Most of the genetically engineered foods, as you know, and Kathy knows, are created to withstand heavy applications of this chemical so that it kills the weeds but not the plant. So it gets into the soil, it gets into the plant, it's on the plant, you can't
In the
wash it
fruit.
off.
Well, the plants are actually engineered so they can accept glyphosate, so they won't be. It will eliminate, it will reduce the amount of spoilage in the field.
Correct.
But then, we went over this before.
Yeah.
The effects of it. This isn't. Who was the monk? Genetics. Mendelbaum or Mandel or something. Listen, kids, this is 45 years ago I was reading this stuff. I can remember what Yaz hit in 1968, 301. But there was some
Well, this is just on
monk that,
Saturday.
when they say, it's just they've always genetically manipulated plants. Well, yeah, this isn't taking a branch off a wine sap apple tree
Right.
and putting it on a Cortland one,
Right.
which you can do and changes the genetics. This is actually going in and changing.
Absolutely. And I was in the Peace Corps, and in where I was, I focused on rice production with female women farmers. And one of the things that the farmers' practice would be is to hold on to a couple of kilos of rice seed at
Right.
the end of the harvest, and then use that for next season.
That's traditional in all agriculture.
farmers.
And even when you do your lawns.
And it's pretty logical and pretty smart to do if there are seeds or plants that produce more
Right.
rice than other plants. And so you pick those seeds
Yeah.
from that plant and you want to replant it for next year. Well, with what Monsanto has done, because they have engineered these seeds, they've put patents on these
Right.
seeds. And so they restrict the farmers all around the world from taking the seeds for the next year. They require the farmers to buy every single year new seeds.
They have to actually sign a license agreement that says we will not use this again.
Right.
Well,
and
with the corn in Mexico, when it would blow, the seeds would blow into another field, they would send lawyers to try to get the other guy to get a license. if
right,
it
the
was in their
pollen,
field.
right,
Yeah.
right. And this is the kind of things that goes counter to the claims of Monsanto and other chemical companies that
They're trying
it's
to
not
help people
feeding
eat,
the
right.
world. It is bankrupting local, sustained people who are trying to feed themselves, and it's bankrupting them and killing them.
See, that is the great thing. That it's like the Green Revolution of the '60s. That it's feeding people and stopping starvation. It's actually feeding their corporate profits. So, like, they want to change the genetic patterning so they can patent it. Because I'm talking about the air is there in the commons, and when you're talking about rice, like when they used to send people out to Peace Corps and everything, that rice wasn't patented or everything. They did create certain high yield ones and stuff, but it was given, Away.
Right, but they're also not the genetics of the plant have not been altered by
Right,
a
back in the Green
chemical
Revolution, right.
traced to a goat,
Right.
for instance, or
We had some
from
Some
fish.
weird, yeah.
the
And-
fish one.
Yeah.
And they don't even know how that's going to go and be digested in your gut
Right.
because it's just less than a generation.
Right.
But it was
No
really
long-term
right.
studies have been done on any of this stuff. It just got kind of slipped into the Americans' diet, and suddenly we kind of woke up and realized that most of our corn, most of our soy, cotton, including
Yeah, it was like
most of our
80%.
vegetable oil,
Corn, maize.
corn, they've all been genetically engineered with no long-term studies. So we don't know what's going to happen. What we do know is that the two primary traits that these foods have been engineered for are either to withstand heavy applications of glyphosate, and we should say glyphosate has been determined by the World
Health
Organization. They have a subcommittee called the International IARC, International Cancer.
It's a carcinogen.
They determined that it is a probable human carcinogen, the second to highest rating that they can give.
Hey, but this is America. Let's talk about the BST, bovine. I remembered it. It's what they give cows to create more milk, where the cow gets a distended udder and is in pain. And in Canada, around 1999 or 2000, they found out that Monsanto had bribed members of the Canadian FDA to ignore research from Monsanto that showed it was a carcinogen. And it was a great scandal in Canada. So it's banned in Canada, it's banned in England, banned in Japan, banned in the EU. But guess what? At the same time, it was approved in America, even though it's a carcinogen in Canada, right?
Well, the
It's just
science
crazy.
is different in Canada, right?
Well, Monsanto, what other great things going to be at this march?
Yeah, so we have a number of speakers, and
Yeah.
I brought them so I wouldn't forget. We will have a beekeeper there,
Oh, cool.
Anne Antonucci.
Antonucci.
Yeah, and New Hampshire Rep Jim McConnell. He's from.
I've heard his name before.
Tell me again.
Swansea, I think.
Swansea.
Swansea? I
Yep.
thought that's in Wales.
He's from Cheshire County.
If it isn't on Route 93. Or 101.
Or 101.
Right, 101. Marty Mitchner, he's an ecologist. Laura Wolfner, she's a molecular biologist. We're going to have all these real scientists there. And our good friend Bonnie Wright will be speaking as well. And then we're going to march around downtown.
Going to break
Concord.
anything?
Well, it depends. If we
If
might.
it was a Bloomberg bus and you were gun nuts, you would.
Yeah, they did break some things when they were
This
here.
is always.
They were.
This is our 5th year doing
This
this
is a
event.
peaceful event.
It's peaceful, family. You can bring kids.
Yeah.
It's always been very family friendly and peaceful.
Yeah, and nice music. And we've got a whole list of sponsors and supporters and some of them will be tabling in Concord. I should say that there will also be a rally and march in Portsmouth. And that's in the afternoon. I think it's noon.
We start in
Because you share
Concord at
speakers
11.
with
I
us.
think they're at 1 or 2.
Okay. Yeah,
Are you
I
gonna
think
be at
it's
that
1
one,
o'clock.
too?
It's right at the end of the farmers market in Portsmouth.
Yes, at the same location as the farmers market.
Yeah, that's right. So up by City Hall in Portsmouth. And they'll have some speakers, and I think they're going to march to downtown.
Where can we get information about this?
It's all over the place.
Hey, could you put
it's
up
on the Facebook and
number 6? I have both the Sierra Club and the Right to Know New Hampshire.
Ah.
We have www.nhrighttonowgmo.org. That's your organization, Bonnie. And what about Sierra Club New Hampshire? What would be the best way to get to that?
Yeah, it's Sierra Club hampshire.org/new-hampshire, or just find us on Facebook at NH Sierra Club.
Does the March have a website too?
There is, and it's on the Facebook page.
It's Facebook.
It's got a Facebook page. But yeah, it should be great. I'm really excited. We made some signs, and we had some youngsters help us make signs, so that made it fun. And we've got a great lineup of speakers. I'm really excited.
Okay, we're going to go back to Liz, and then we're going to come back to you and talk about the future of environmental laws and activists.
I've got some happy news, some successes.
Okay, what
is so prevalent?
Can I talk about March Against Monsanto?
Sure.
We got a little bit more that we didn't talk about. We're going to have tables, info tables, with a bunch of different supporters there. We're going to have an organic seed swap. There is going to be packaged samples of organic foods that do not have GMOs in it. And when you come, bring a package of organic food to put into the collection, and that's going to go to a homeless shelter here in New Hampshire. So those are things that we hadn't talked on, and I wanted to make sure.
And I'm actually going to give the last word to Bonnie. Bonnie, once again, tell the folks what the March Against Monsanto.
It's going to be at 107 North Main Street in Concord. That's right in front of the building with the Golden Dome on Saturday at 11 o'clock, 11 to 1. And then there is also one in Portsmouth at 1 o'clock immediately following the farmers market there, same place. So come to one, come to both.
Okay.
We have some great speakers talking in Concord. I'm really not that in tune with what's happening at Portsmouth.
Well, I got to wrap it up. Well, my Facebook page is still called Ward 13. Check it out there. And we'll put information about being on Matt Condon Unleashed in the afternoon. We'll get both on. You can just call. And we'll get the information out. Don't look so pained.
Well, maybe you can put the information about the bill, the committee of
conference.
Yeah,
we're gonna get everything out there.
Okay.
That's what we do here at the QCC. Adios. If you like.